See you down there.
Welcome
Yes,
back,
sir.
ladies and gentlemen. In this video, you're going to see me descending a trail that's called Merrill in the San Gabriel Mountains above Pasadena. I just thought I would share this with you guys. This is one of my favorite trails in all of Southern California. What you're going to notice right away are a couple things.
Got you guys.
I'm not going to be going terribly
Right
fast,
here.
and there are several reasons for that. You'll see one of the reasons, traffic. This trail is a multi-use trail, and I'm riding this on a Saturday in particular, which means it's going to be rather busy. You'll see me encounter a number of hikers along this trail. Some of them are climbing up, some of them might be climbing down. Another reason I'm generally taking it easy is this is part of a long ride on that day. At the point of beginning Merrill, I was already over 15 miles into the ride and had already climbed over 4,500 feet. We pedaled all the way up the Mount Wilson Toll Road to the top at the cafe, caught a snack, took a break, and descended the front range. So I'm rather tired by the time I get to this trail on this day. But it's beautiful. You'll notice the trail starts out on more or less a northern slope and lots of trees, great shade. Eventually you come around the corner and the same trail, Merrill, but now you're on more south or west facing slopes, much more exposed to the sun. The trees aren't as dense or as tall. The trail itself is one of my favorites. It's quite interesting. It's a mix of some good flow interrupted by lots of chunky terrain. You'll see that at times it's going to get really intense. At times you'll see me slow way down in order to kind of pick my way through some of the rock and some of the chunky steps and holes between the rocks. So being part of such a long ride, energy intake is going to be a pretty big concern for me with trying to maintain energy levels along with not going overboard on the blood sugar levels themselves. At the point of beginning Merrill here, we had already been out for something like 5 hours total time. Along that time, 3.5 hours of that was 3 to 3.5 hours was climbing up the toll road. We were going at a pretty leisurely pace. But after about the first hour, I had to start taking in calories. That's when it makes the most sense for me. I usually drink a water in the first, say, 45 minutes, maybe up to an hour. But at that point, I have to start taking in calories on these longer rides. So that's when I start. And overall, between carrying Tailwind in a couple water bottles and having a snack up at the cafe, I had probably consumed something on the order of 1,000 calories by now. But I had probably burned significantly more than that. And that's kind of normal. If I were to try to eat an equivalent amount of calories or consume an equivalent amount of calories as I was burning across a long ride like one of these, I probably wouldn't be able to ride. It would just be too many calories. And then trying to ride on a full stomach is just not that easy. It's not very much fun. So by the end, and even before the end, here riding Merrill, one of the reasons I'm kind of picking my way a little bit here and there, beyond just the traffic, is my energy levels. I'm pretty tired by now. And so don't want to make any mistakes moving at any high speed because of that fatigue level.
Just me. Thank you. Appreciate it.
This trail starts at a location up near a place called Inspiration Point, which is a really cool place to get to. It's not too hard to hike up to that spot, Inspiration Point. From the top of Lake Avenue in Pasadena to get to Inspiration Point might be something like a 5-mile hike to the top. Not too bad. You would climb up Lower San Merrill, and then you have a couple options on how to finish your hike to get up to Inspiration Point. For riding up here, You also have multiple options. Lower San Merrill is one of the fastest, most direct ways to get about halfway up to Inspiration Point, and then you have to take a couple other trails. The Echo Mountain Trail to transition across to the Mount Low Railroad, which is basically an access road, a dirt road. And that's the most common way, perhaps, to get up there. You could also climb up directly from the bottom near Sunset Trail, or you can even take Sunset Trail, but it'd be extremely difficult. Lower San Merrill is also quite a difficult climb. It's steep and technical all at the same time, but it's pretty short, roughly 3 miles long. On this ride, we accessed Middle Merrill from above, coming down from the saddle about halfway up the road to Mount Wilson Observatory. You can pick up the Mount Low Railway Road and do a little bit of climbing. You go through this tunnel. It's really cool. It's not very far, and you get to Markham Saddle. The road would continue downhill from there and meet up with the top of Middle Merrill and right near Inspiration Point, and you can continue all the way out to Inspiration Point very easily. So right away, one of the things you're going to notice is the bell I'm carrying on the bike. Being multi-use trails, awareness is really a big deal. It's very important. Most of the time when we're riding on these trails, we are encountering a lot of hikers, and the vast majority of our interactions with hikers are very positive. Everyone's happy to be out there. But being on the bikes, it is very important that we don't start approaching these trails with an attitude of having the right of way and being disappointed in having to slow down or pull over for hikers. The thing about the bell, it lets hikers know that we're nearby, and quite often we're getting compliments on the bells, and people are thanking us for having the bell. And it's not a notification that hikers have to step aside for us, although quite often they do anyway, and it's not a problem, and people are generally very courteous, and it's really cool. But the use of the bell is critical on these high traffic trails, especially where line of sight might not be very far before the next turn, a lot of blind corners, and the sound will carry around the corner pretty well. So even though you might spend a lot of money trying to have the quietest bike you can, makes no rattling, no creaking and all that stuff, then you slap a noisy bell on it. Sometimes I get annoyed by it because I don't want to have a noisy bike. But on the other hand, I also really enjoy the vast majority of the positive interactions that I have with hikers on trails like these.
Little Merrill, I love you.
If you enjoyed any part of the video or the discussion, please leave a thumbs up and a comment. Thank you for watching.